You're listening to Jonesey's Jukebox on KLOS with my guests Matt and Dom from MUSE. How are you?
Very good. Nice to see you.
Doing great.
I'm pretty good.
How was your bike journey in?
It was good. It was good. Busy.
Yeah.
Busy. The 405.
Do you find LA drivers or London drivers scarier to be around when you're on a bike?
I think London drivers are better drivers.
Yeah.
Because you have to take more of a thorough test.
Yeah.
Like crazy test.
Or to actually get the license, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they are definitely better drivers. Here, do you have American license too?
I do, yeah. I literally
What, for bikes, you mean, or
For anything.
for anything? Yeah. I got yeah. It's literally nothing to do. Like you just drive
around the
around the block, and that's it. Yeah.
20 stupid questions.
Pull over where there's no cars. You know what I mean? Like in the UK, you have to do like a full-on parallel parking, emergency stop. That's my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to that?
And then there's all the written test as well, right?
Yeah. That's pretty deep.
Do a lot of people still take tests in England, or is it like chaotic like everywhere else?
No, it's pretty bureaucratic over there. I think there's still, you still got to do all the full-on testing. Do you know what I mean? But here it's much more loose. Apart from the bike test here, well, I tried to do it once, but I didn't finish it. No, I didn't. I had a lesson once. That was it. The figure of 8 was quite hard. I found that to be quite hard. What kind of bike have you got?
I got a bunch of them, but today I'm on a Ducati.
Nice, very nice. Yeah.
Now, what you mean? You're talking about in the parking lot where you went down the islands? You can't put your feet down.
Yeah, you can't put your feet down. A little tight little spot. You have to do like a figure of 8. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that like quite difficult because I had it was a Kawasaki like sports bike of some kind, and it couldn't take corners sharp enough. You know?
What CC was it?
It was 500, I think. Yeah.
Was it a small one?
It was the green one. You know, what do you call it? The green.
A green bike.
The green Kawasaki.
Oh, the green bike.
The green one, yeah. Ninja. It's called a Ninja. No. They're all green. I wasn't just. It wasn't just paint. Yeah, all the Kawasaki Ninjas are green. Yeah. And I've only used it a couple of times, and I kind of feel like I only got it just in case there's like an earthquake and you've got to escape out of the city really quick. A bike's the best way to do it. Ever since I saw that film Deep Impact, do you know what I mean? You remember that film when the wave comes in and washes away all of LA and stuff?
You think that was overreacting though?
What?
In the movie?
No.
You think that can really happen?
The traffic, a big wave came in or something, and all the traffic was so bad that everyone got wiped out by the wave, apart from some kid on a bike who like cut through all the traffic, and he went up into the mountains and camped out with his girlfriend for a bit. And I thought, yeah, I'll take that option. That's the main reason I got a bike. But you ride a bike because you're just a biker, aren't you? You're like Sons of Anarchy.
No, I'm not Sons of Anarchy. Although I did meet the creator a few months ago.
Yeah.
He wanted to meet me.
Right.
Because he's doing some show in England, in Wales.
Right.
And he wanted my input on it. I don't know if anything came of it, but here I am.
Yeah, nice.
But the thing is, you can take a lesson. You can take a test on a bike here on a really small bike, like a 250.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Yeah, something that turns easier.
Yeah, and it applies to any motorcycle.
Yeah, there you go. Get a little scrambler.
But to answer your question, it's very scary in LA, especially these days.
Yeah.
People don't pay attention at all.
Yeah.
And but it's the only way to get around quick. You know, I got here in 20 minutes from up Benedict Canyon.
Yeah, very nice. So, what else have you been up to?
Do you remember? You probably remember the first time I met you.
What, on the dance floor around Kate's house?
No.
At the
first time.
discotheque.
Oh no, with Guy Siri.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh bloody hell! That's unbelievable. That one. We were 19.
19. It was a studio.
Yeah, and the guy turned up with you and a lawyer, wasn't it, or something? And we were playing in like a little. Well, you probably remember.
Well, basically, this is to try and get signed. That's what we're talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah, you was doing a showcase for 2 people.
Exactly. We're doing a record company showcase for Maverick.
Did you put in a good word for us? Is that why we got signed?
Of course.
So basically, we owe our entire career to you, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He did ask me, he said, what do you think of them?
Yeah. And you
I said, they're really good musicians.
Yeah, well,
for young dudes, they can really play.
Showing potential, yeah. I had to work on that voice, though. Yeah, it took a while.
That was so weird.
Off, but the rest of them were really good.
Yeah. That's been the story of my life. But that was cool. Yeah, that takes me way back. That does.
When was that?
That was 99. Or it might be
No,
2000.
do you want a real answer?
Yeah.
98.
98.
Yeah.
Wow, 98.
It was like late 98 or something like that. But that's just it was so weird. Because those things are weird anyway for like any band trying to like attempt to impress, a small number of people in a room. It's like a weird audition. It's like
audition, like an actor
totally
going up for a
weird.
part. He stands in front of 3 blokes behind a desk.
Yeah.
And you got to act natural.
Yeah.
It is an art thing.
Yeah, and it was it was yourself, the record company guy Osiri, and a lawyer.
Was it a lawyer?
That's what we
I'm
remember.
pretty sure there was a lawyer
Maybe
in
it was
there.
just you two of you then. I don't know.
I don't remember a lawyer.
Maybe that was another one because we did another one somewhere with Columbia Records or something, and that was a corporate team or something. I don't know, whatever.
I wonder what the lawyer was. Did they want you to sign on the spot?
Guy did, yeah. I mean, Guy, he came up to us tonight and said, "That's it, let's do a deal."
After like a few songs, he's like, "I'll sign you right now,"
and then dropped us one album later.
Why didn't it? Was it not? Didn't do well, or they didn't know what to do.
I guess the music we were doing at that point back then, it was all like that jock metal, like
it was a bit Limp Bizkit
or like sports metal. Or something.
New metal.
New metal. Sorry, that's the term I was looking for. And it was, I guess at that point we were like, what were we? I don't know what we were. We didn't fit with anything back then. Do you know what I mean? Like musically, like the first sort of early 2000s and late 90s, we were just doing our own thing, I guess, and so it didn't really work on what was working in the US. It got really big in like Europe. Do you know what I mean?
You was already popular in Europe, right?
Yeah. But it didn't really work. The first 2 albums didn't really work in the US. Third album, Absolution, was the one that did really well. And the first 2, Guy wasn't feeling it. But we're good buddies. We're still.
I often wonder why that pond, that separation of what makes some bands crack it here and some bands never crack it here, and are massive in Europe.
Yeah.
It's like I can never figure that out.
Yeah, I think someone described it to me as like, it's the way you nod your head. You got Americans, they want to do this. They want to like move, dance. Like you got to get a beat. Do you know what I mean? Like head banging, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In Europe, in England, anyway, some of the rock tends to be a bit more ethereal and a bit more like thinking and all that kind of stuff. Where over here it's like if it doesn't have a riff, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? That's it. You got to make people move. I think that's a separating factor. The pond factor.
Well, your new single's got a groove to it.
It's got a nod, yeah. You heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a bit of a groove, yeah. Yeah, we did that with Mike Elizondo, American producer. Yeah, nice guy. Yeah.
Today is the big debut of the single.
Yeah,
it is.
It is indeed. It was nice seeing you last week, by the way. Yeah, briefly. Yeah, as well. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Confusing me now. Dig Down is out today.
Yeah, that's it.
And are you going to do albums, or are you just going to do singles for a while?
No, both. Yeah, but we see no reason not to put songs out as we sort of write and make them. Do you know what I mean? Like we used to sort of write and make and produce a song, whatever, and then like you sit on it for like 10 months or like a year until the album's finished. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't always go into the studio and like do 10 songs in 6 weeks. We did that in the early years sometimes, but now like we'll make 2 songs here, 3 songs there. And sometimes it takes over a year to get an album together. And it seems weird with songs, especially a song like this that feels like it's connected to this moment in time. Like it seems weird to sort of delay it. So we like the idea of working on one song at a time, and if that song feels relevant, just stick it out regardless. So this song will be on the next album, but the next album won't be until next year sometime.
Yeah. So when you're gonna go on the road, you have a tour set up for So the single's coming out today, and then when's the album coming out?
Well, we haven't made it yet.
Yeah.
So probably next year sometime.
I predict probably a year later.
Yeah.
So you think that's an old way of thinking then, doing albums?
I think. Well, no.
As far as new people, young people go, they kind of just like singles, don't they?
I think people like both. Do you know what I mean? I think if anything, like the single sort of thing has come back a bit. You know what I mean? Like in the last sort of few years, because people just flick through songs they like on their streaming stuff. And I think that's made the single more, an interesting thing again. It's not just, back in the 90s, I guess singles were more like, it's just like promoting an album or something. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now I think songs on their own can live on their own, and people just put playlists together with all sorts of different artists. You know what I mean? I think, but then again, I think there's people that still love albums. If there's like some kind of concept or link between the songs, which we always tend to do.
Yeah, we're here with MUSE. We're going to play their new single, Dig Down. You're listening to Jonesey's Jukebox on KLOS with my guests, Matt and Dom from MUSE.
Yeah.
So, are you happy with your single?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's like.
Would you say it's a big transition?
No, I think it's got some similarity to stuff we've done before. It's the last album we did was quite sort of really guitar based, pretty hard rock, I'd say in some spots. But yeah, this song. Yeah.
Or dancey?
It's a bit of a groove, bit electronic. It's like I try to combine that sort of. I guess it's slightly gospel sound, isn't it? Mixed with electronic. I'm not sure if that's a good description of it, but it's There's
a bit of George Michael's in there.
Yeah, always love a bit of George.
Georgie Porgy.
Yeah, Georgie Porgy. He's always finds his way in somewhere.
Oh, rest in peace, poor Georgie.
Yeah.
So you do have a tour coming up.
We do.
A couple of days after this single's out today.
Yeah.
Saturday, West Palm Beach. We start a tour. We're basically we're just touring across the summer, basically in the States, and unfortunately we're not playing in LA because we did last time. So this tour is just covering a bunch of cities that we couldn't quite get to last time. Yeah. On the last US tour. So we start in Florida, and going to go and play a bunch of places we haven't been to for a while.
Where are you playing? Big gaffs?
Like the sheds.
Sheds, you call them.
Sheds,
where did that term come from?
Sheds?
I don't know where that is. Amphitheatres, isn't it, I guess? Or, like those places that are like half outdoors, half indoors, you know what I mean? Amphitheatres.
Amphitheatres, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
what are they? 5,000, 10,000?
No, more like 15, I think, yeah.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, you watch it, yeah. Get your stats right, mate, around here,
You've played some big... You've obviously done the old festival deal in Europe and here.
Yeah. No, actually, we're doing some festivals this summer in the US as well. Yeah, we're doing like Lollapalooza. We're doing one in San Diego called Kaboo, I think. Is that right? And then we're finishing up in Vegas. Life is Beautiful. So yeah, we're doing. There's a few others as well. Like a couple Canadians and stuff. And so we're looking forward to actually doing a summer in the US. We've never really done a summer tour here. We've always played here like in the autumn, fall, whatever. Yeah. And we've always if we were working in the summer, we'd always be in Europe or somewhere else. So we like the idea of like hanging out here in the sun for a while.
Do you like touring?
If you take breaks, it's it can be great. There's nothing better than that feeling. I think of a great show. Like when you get that interaction with the crowd, they love the songs. It's I think that's what we live for, to be honest. Like that's what got us into this in the first place, was the live show. But you can't have too much of a good thing. If you spend too much time on the road, you can start to lose perspective, and that's happened before as well. But but we're excited about this. We took a nice break. We stopped last September and did nothing. For about 4 or 5 months, and that gets boring. Do you know what I mean? Like doing nothing. That can get a bit dull as well. And
you ever thought of doing solo albums?
No.
No. They're just going to suck, aren't they?
I don't. No one buys them. Put it that way.
Yeah, they never do as well as the band typically.
Yeah, there's one thing that's always stopped me from ever considering that, and that was the idea of having to do all this kind of promo radio stuff and interviews on my own. Like, I couldn't deal. Yeah, I'd have to. I need someone else to do the talking sometimes. But
Well, you definitely don't sell as many records. I don't think anyone.
What, as a solo?
As a solo.
Yeah.
I think there was a moment, wasn't there, in the 80s where solo artists were like big for some reason, like big Phil, like Phil Collins just broke out there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was.
Yeah, he did very well, didn't he? Yeah.
But that was Genesis was over though, right?
I don't know, but whatever it was, there was Sting as another example. There was something in the 80s where like solo people broke away and they did very well for themselves. Yeah, and George, obviously, rest in peace.
Well, it was only him really, and the other bloke. Kind of.
Well, but still, he went from being like a boy band or whatever to being a solo. So yeah, but I feel like it's not quite the same now, isn't it? No one seems to do that anymore.
Well, whenever Mick Jagger or Keith Richards does a solo record, I mean they're all right, but no one really.
I didn't even know they did them. I didn't know.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard any.
They want that big name, the Rolling Stones. That's kind of the way it goes, isn't it?
Did you ever do one?
A solo record? Yeah. I did a couple, yeah.
How'd that feel?
I'll check it out,
yeah. Whatever. Yeah. I mean...
Noel Gallagher did a good one, didn't he, I think? I haven't heard it, but I saw them on TV and stuff. But then again, it's got a name, hasn't it? It's called the Pirates or something.
High Flying Birds.
Oh, well, that's it, yeah. And
Noel Gallagher and the Pirates of the Caribbean.
And that's, I guess, if your name's not attached, does it still classify as a solo project, or is it a different band? I don't know.
He's done all right, but it's the same thing. It's like Oasis Rover, then he did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like during, a bit of band time off, was it? It was like Oasis finished, and then, that's a different story.
Do you think they'll get back together? I'm sure they will.
I think they will, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the nature of their bust-up was, really. It sounds like it must have been...
Just being brothers.
Yeah.
The movie's good.
Couldn't heck it.
The movie the documentary, they really,
good?
Brilliant, really, really good. Definitely recommend watching it. It's really funny. It's really funny.
I beg your pardon?
Is it
hilarious?
Is it like a lot of them two shouting at each other?
Well, it's all like old footage, and obviously them narrating it via like interviews, but they're not together, separate interviews, but they're certainly like talking about each other and mouthing off about each other, and it's pretty funny.
Entertaining.
Yeah, it's very entertaining, but it's amazing that really their story is pretty amazing about how big they got in such a short period of time.
Yeah,
back in the 90s.
Are you fans of Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, love them. I mean, fans, I'm not that knowledgeable on everything they've done, but I mean, I love the stuff I've heard, yeah. I mean, It's like some of the best riffs ever. Great guitarist, obviously. Yeah, brilliant. Great voice. One of the best rock voices ever, Pretty cool band, yeah.
He was a session player, right?
Yeah, he did sessions with my dad, actually, yeah. Yeah, my dad was...
Your dad was in the...
Tornadoes,
the Tornadoes.
Yeah, but after that, yeah. He only did that for a short time. After that, he was a session musician in London for a number of years.
Yeah.
And he told me that he did a few sessions. My dad was doing backing vocals and stuff like that for various records in the 60s. And the guitarist from Led Zeppelin,
Jimmy
Page. And Jimmy Page was actually a brilliant guitar session player back then. Like people, I guess people did know that, but my dad was on a few sessions with him, like doing various records, whatever. And he remembers Jimmy talking about like he wanted to form a band and do something completely different, do his own thing and stuff, so
they're like, yeah, all right, kid, just stick to sessions. But he played on he played the solo on It's Not Unusual, Tom Jones.
Oh, really?
That's
yeah.
And he's on Here Comes the Night by them.
Yeah, there you go.
He plays the guitar on that.
Yeah.
I just found out last week.
Yeah,
because I had a guy on, Brett Burns, who's doing a documentary about his dad.
Yeah,
Burt Burns.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
From New York. He was one of them old school guys, producer, songwriter. Man, this guy wrote some hits. But he was talking about Jimmy Page and how Brett, who did the documentary, had Jimmy Page change his diapers because he. Not on a sexual level. He was a kid. Jimmy Page was staying with this guy. He came over and was doing sessions then and stayed with this guy. It's an interesting story if you like documentaries.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah,
but there's talk that they're gonna get back. It could be all.
Yeah, I saw a documentary with Jack White, Jimmy Page, and Edge. Have you seen that one? 3 guitarists. And
yeah, what did you think of that?
I thought it was pretty good, but I liked the bit where when he started playing boom, 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 you could just see like Jack White and Edge both going, okay, legend. There it is, right there, like that's the god,
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was right. I mean, they're all very different guitarists, I mean, Edge is all about the effects and stuff. I quite liked the way he showed how he wrote some of his songs just based on effects pedals and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Do you think he knows regular chords, the Edge? I've never seen him play anything like
what, like
Burt Whedon would do. Just chords.
Yeah.
It's all like
he plays on I reckon a lot of the stuff he does, you could get by with one of those. What's that thing that Morgan plays all the time? It's like a tenor guitar, just the top 4 strings. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't do much on the low strings apart from a lot of the high chords he plays are always on the top 4 strings. Do you know what I mean? Like the high strings. So it's like a tenor guitar player. That's how I describe him.
Yeah.
But he's great. I think he's great. So he sort of brought effects, really heavy effects into the into the equation. And that led on to like people like Tom Morello, who's one of my favorite guitarists. I like that sort of experimenting with the guitar and like playing outside of the sort of the norm, because you learn all the chords, the shapes, and the scales, and then where can you go? It's like effects is the next thing, and So I've always liked him. Jimmy Page, Jack White's pretty cool as well. He's brilliant.
He's great. Yeah,
he's good. But what do you think of that documentary?
I liked the bit with Jimmy Page where he's playing his 45s.
Yeah.
And how passionate he was about it.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell he really loves music.
Yeah.
You know, that was good. I mean, obviously, most people, if you're going to play music, you must love doing it. But I like the fact that he was still, you know, he loves all that 50s stuff, which I do. I love all 50s music.
Yeah.
Now, your dad, what did he play on then? Did he play on...
he played guitar.
No, I know, but did he play on Have I the Right?
What's that?
It was a #1 single by the...
Oh, in terms of session, yeah. No, he did as a session player. He was a vocalist. He did backing vocals.
Oh, okay.
So it was like him and like 2 or 3 other guys or girls, or whatever, who did like vocal stuff. You know, so they, you know, it's one of those things. He's lost count of all these records he was on. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, you didn't even know half the time.
So it wasn't just Joe Meek stuff. It was a bunch of stuff.
Joe Meek was how he got into it. Yeah, that was Tornadoes, obviously playing guitar. And then after that, he became a session player. I think he did guitar, but I think a lot of the records he played on that Jimmy Page was on and stuff like that was, he was doing vocal stuff, just backing vocal parts.
Did your dad play on Telstar?
Yeah, he did on that one, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
You saw the documentary on Joe Meek?
No, I need to see that, though. Yeah. I definitely want to see that. Yeah, Joe Meek's a real interesting character, yeah. My dad's got a lot of stories about him. Yeah, he was a psychopath, yeah.
Yeah. You're listening to Jonesey's Jukebox on KLOS with my guest, Matt and Dom from MUSE. Let's play some more MUSE. You're listening to Jonesey's Jukebox on KLOS with my guest, Matt and Dom from MUSE. MUSE.
I was in a... Where was I? I was in a supermarket the other day in Malibu, yeah? What's it called? The one in Trancas. And I saw...
oh, no.
Yeah. In a boiler suit.
No.
With PIL written on the back of the boiler suit. An orange boiler suit. Public Image Limited, is it?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, yeah. It was amazing. Like, full like Johnny, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, just fully geared up. Like, you know.
Was he by himself?
No, he was with a lady. I think it must have been his, I don't know, wife or girlfriend. I can't remember. I don't know. But that was pretty surreal. Yeah, watching him, like, shopping around.
How did he look? Was he heavy?
He looked alright, actually, yeah. No, he looked pretty good. He looked in good spirits. Yeah, he was definitely jovial and laughing, you know, bouncing around a bit. But
did you speak to him?
I didn't. I sort of, you know, it was like I just saw him across the way and I didn't want to be the person that goes up to someone and go, hey, you know.
I'm Matt. I'm in MUSE. How are you?
Yeah. It's like, it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's not very often you see a Sex Pistol shopping for eggs, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. How'd you know he was getting eggs?
I saw him in the dairy department, yeah.
You was following him?
We brushed shoulders, actually, yeah. But actually, we met him before. We played on Jules Holland, actually, and he was playing with Public Image then. And yeah.
That was recently.
Yeah, he said hello, actually, then, yeah. He seemed cool. Are you still friendly? Are you still out hanging out? Or do you... not much, yeah.
We don't really talk.
Because he must live out here now, I guess, yeah.
He's got a place. He's been out here for a long time.
Yep.
He came here about a year or so after I moved out here, around 84, 83, somewhere around there. But we never speak.
Yeah, it's funny how that can happen. Yeah,
Do you guys always get along?
No, we haven't always got along. I mean, we've had a few mates. Me and you nearly had a fight on a plane recently, about a couple of years ago. But it was one of those half play fights that then turns half serious, and then like, you know, and a couple of mates intervene. You know,
right.
But it was. But no, we've never really, you know, Chris, the bass player, good thing is we're all pretty close now, you know, but there's been moments where, you know, we haven't talked to each other for a long period of time, but we've always managed to, the music, I guess, you know, it sounds easy, but the music has always been a way that that's always been unquestionably sort of, we just agree and we get on that level, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then personal wise, we've had like, you know, our friendships have gone through so much and, you know, but I think it's like any relationship, like when you've been hanging out together for so many years, you learn how to respect each other's space. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a big thing, you know, because the first few years that we're together, we're like in each other's pockets 24/7, right? And that's when you can have massive fallouts.
Yeah.
Right? And but yeah, in the last the last few years, I guess we know how to sort of like say, right, you know, we don't have to like, you know, we did a tour together, let's chill out for a few weeks, see you in a few weeks, that kind of thing, you know, and give each other some space, you know.
Sounds like a dream.
It's dream life.
Couldn't you talk to Johnny about that?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah. Do you know, I think I'd be an expert, like band psychologist. Yeah, I could. I could make. I bet you I could make any band reform. Yeah, I could talk you through any issues, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it depends. The only thing you can't. I mean, I guess if someone's really done something bad to you, you know what I mean? Like, that's different, you know what I mean? But if it's just the usual ego sort of bollocks, you know what I mean? Like that stuff, you know, he's got to talk it out, you know what I mean? It's like
usual band stuff.
Yeah, like ego stuff is like when a band doesn't function because of that, that's terrible, that's stupid, you know what I mean? But like, you know,
I think there's some deep resentments with my band.
But like what? But is it? I mean, I don't want to pry too much, but is it just? Yeah, is there anything? Is it so unforgivable stuff, or is it just ego stuff? You know?
Well, I don't really know.
Well, that means it's probably just ego
why
stuff,
we hate each other.
Yeah,
actually, it's not the band. Me, Cookie, the original bass player, Glenn Matlock. We get along fine, but John has a deeper thing, and between all of us, you know. Like I said, the three of us get along. I don't think he liked the fact that I was mates with the drummer Paul Cook. He was like my oldest friend. I've known him since I was 10.
Yeah.
And then when we got John in the band, and me and Cookie always used to split afterwards, and John was basically left to do his by himself, or hang out with Glenn Matlock, who he didn't really like.
Right, yeah.
So I think there's some deep resentment there, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you know.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because you get together, like, part of it is you're like a gang of mates, right? And you all come from backgrounds where you need this gang feeling. You know, what I mean? Like, you know, like whatever, like you know, your family backgrounds of all of us, like we've all, for various reasons, like, you know, whether it be broken families or whether it be families that weren't fulfilling or whatever, like for whatever reason, you sort of get this group of mates together and you need each other, and you're like family. Do you know what I mean, like brothers?
Yeah.
And that means there can be a much more sensitive dynamic, and then as you grow older, though. And you start to branch off, and you start to sort of, you know, create your own actual families outside of that family. Like that's where the sort of the or like friendships start. You know, certain, as you said, like a pair will pair off. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. You know, it can. It's like a marriage. Do you know what I mean? Like any, you know, relationship to go the long full distance, you have to sort of somehow respect each other's changes and the way that you evolve and the way that you maybe you no longer need each other in the way that you did when you were teenagers. Do you know what I mean?
You don't have any tools. I didn't have any tools. None of us had any tools when we were 19 years old.
No. I mean, English people in general don't have any tools because we all come from a...
Stuff them feelings down.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You don't know how to act, really. Yeah. I didn't, you know. I had a messed up upbringing, though.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us do in this game.
You should be a therapist. You sounded like a therapist. You should write a song with therapy in it.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
Yeah. That's actually good. I like that band Therapy, actually. They're pretty decent. Remember them? Remember that band called Therapy?
No.
From way back, they were pretty cool.
Yeah, like Welsh or something.
Welsh,
like a Welsh rock
good,
band, yeah.
What drummers do you like?
I like when I was young, I was really into like Stuart Copeland, Roger Taylor, Queen, and then, you know, when I was like pretty young, like, you know, 10 or something like that. And then I was really, you know, when I really got into rock music, I suppose, and actually playing the drums, you know, I listened to a lot of like Nirvana, like Dave Grohl, and you know, Matt Cameron from Soundgarden. I got quite into that thing when I was actually first learning the drums. And Buddy Rich still. Really, you know, jazz drummer who's just still, you know, you listen to anything he does and it's still like the most mind-blowing thing that no one else can seem to get close to.
Beware Ginger Baker, have you seen that?
Oh, it's great.
And then,
so good,
but that's, I don't really know much about, like, I've seen a documentary, I don't know much about his drumming, Ginger Baker's drumming.
What are you talking about? How can you not? What are you talking about?
I mean, I know a few Cream songs, but I don't really, I have never really studied his drumming or listened to it enough, but definitely, I mean, that documentary is pretty hilarious.
So
it sheds a lot of light on his playing, but also how much...
It's a train wreck, isn't he?
Yeah, just one whole bastard.
But was he really like the first... That documentary made out like he was the first guy that kind of sort of introduced tribal drumming, like travelled around Africa, you know, and brought in that kind of tribal sound into his drumming, you know? He was basically responsible for like a whole different approach to rhythm, do you know what I mean? Like that.
He never played a 4/4. I've never heard him play a 4/4 ever.
Yeah.
It's always the opposite.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a bit brilliant. You know what I mean? Brilliant musician.
Well, I think he came...
Weird guy, though, wasn't he, in that documentary? Yeah, really weird.
He came from jazz, but got himself in a rock band, but then got influenced by, you know, like a lot of African stuff, like moved to Lagos or something. in West Africa, and but at the expense of his family.
Yeah, no, he's a trip. I played with him once in Hawaii. Someone said because he plays polo. Is that in the documentary?
Yeah.
So in Hawaii there was this polo game, and someone said, "Hey, do you want a free trip? Go out there and just after they do the game, jam a little bit." I said, "All right," and I ended up. That was it. The band was me, him, and someone else, and we were just playing Cream songs that I didn't know how to play. I knew that that was about it.
Yeah.
But he was all right. He was all right with me. He liked his weed, and he was all right. We're going to knock it on the head. Good luck with your single.
Yeah, cheers.
Today it came out.
Thanks.
Dig Down, and good luck with the start of your tour on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Cheers.
Thanks for coming by. You're listening to Jonesey's Jukebox on KLOS. Let's play some more music.